Hello, everyone. Welcome to another stream here on the Sports Daily Media Network YouTube channel. We've got Duke against St. John's right now, and we are underway. This got ready a little bit quicker than I thought, so no intro for the most part. And it is St. John's that controls the tip. They're going to Zuby down low. They kick it out to Hopkins. Now Zuby's going to have to take a long three. It's a short shot. Rebound by Duke. Starting lineups remain the same for both teams. We'll hit those at the first media timeout. But it is Caden Boozer who has it now for Duke on the right wing. He's looking for Evans. Now Malik Brown. Evans has it. Evans on the drive, pump fake, steps through, and he lays it in. So Isaiah Evans puts the number one seed Duke Blue Devils up 2-0 here in Washington, D.C. They get it over to Mitchell. Now Darling. Mitchell not a threat from outside, and Sarr is not covering him. Mitchell spinning around inside, and he gets it to go. So Dylan Mitchell with the first basket of the game for St. John's, and the Red Storm are on the board. Late shot clock possession so far for both teams. Feel like it's going to be a really tough day to score a lot of points. They fired inside to Boozer, and he lays it in. So two easy layups for Duke so far. That nice off-the-ball action there with St. John switched, and Sellers was no match for Boozer inside. Ejiofor on the short roll, passes it to Mitchell, and he lays it in. So maybe not. Maybe it is going to be an efficient offensive day. Both teams with 4 early points here in the first minute, or first 2 minutes. St. John's picking up full court. They get it into Boozer. Boozer's going to drive all the way here. And he lost the ball, but he got it back. Now it's kicked out to Brown for 3. That is in and out. Going the other way now with St. John's. Mitchell slicing through. Layup is no good. Ball is out of bounds. It'll go to Duke. So pretty clear that St. John's wants to get the ball down the floor fast enough right now before that Duke defense sets. And Boozer now. Duke is going to have to do a better job of handling the St. John's pressure than Kansas did. That was a tough watch for the Jayhawks. They turned over the ball a million times in that game and double-digit times before they even crossed half court. Boozer and Brown now on the right side. Boozer driving in, guarded by Sellers. Pump fake, he lays it up and in. So Caden Boozer with his first basket of the game. And Duke take a 6-4 lead. Hopkins drives baseline and he loses it out of bounds. So a turnover for the Red Storm. So Duke taking it to St. John's right now on the inside. 3 layups for the most part and 3 makes. Duke is dead here, and they're going to have to throw it into Cam Boozer, who flips it over to his brother, Caden. So not a ton of issues so far with the pressure. Boozer gets the double screen here, and he's going to take Darling all the way, and they're going to call this a foul on the floor. So Boozer, whoops, it's the wrong time. Boozer is really driving to the hoop right now. Caden Boozer, that is the point guard, not Cam Boozer, the center, who is probably going to be the player of the year. But Caden Boozer asserting himself inside so far. He's going to inbound it to his brother Cam here, guarded by Hopkins. Boozer spins baseline, the double team comes. Duke kicks it out and gets it in rotation. Now Caden Boozer. Now back out to Evans. Good rotation there by St. John's. Evans crosses over. Brown now loses it. Turnover. Sanan is in the game for St. John's. The Red Storm, a little bit of a secondary break here. Duke gets back in transition well. Darling. Sanan gets it picked off by Brown. Really nice ball screen defense for Duke. Transition here for the Blue Devils. Evans takes the triple. That is off. Rebounded by Malik Brown, and he lays it in. So Duke 4 layups for the Blue Devils so far as they take an 8-4 lead. Malik Brown, the ACC Sixth Man of the Year. He has been inserted into the starting lineup with Patrick Ngongba's injury. Now, Ngongba did return against TCU, and he is available today. And him and Caleb Foster are over there on the bench. Just 3 weeks ago, Caleb Foster got surgery on his foot. This is a incredible turn of events for Caleb Foster to be available to play today. The 3 by Ejiofor is no good, and Duke will bring it the other way. To get it to Cam Boozer, down low guarded by Hopkins. Kicks it. Caden for 3. Yes. So a sharp start to this game for Duke, who played extremely poorly in the first weekend. They got fairly lucky to beat Siena, and then with the help of the officials, got past TCU. So 11-4 Blue Devils so far. St. John's going to have to play a little bit better defense than they have so far. They're looking for Ejiofor inside, and he can't get it to him. Darling for 3. Yes. So not a whole lot of offense there for St. John's, but Darling hits the 3, and the Blue Devils are within 4, and it's a turnover. Mitchell tips it in. So the inbounds pass is tipped right to Dylan Mitchell, who was covering the inbounder, and it just like that, it's a 5 quick points, and then it's another turnover. Nope, it's out of bounds, and the ball will go to Duke. So a fast start to this one. Duke leads St. John's 11-9 at the first media timeout. We're going to do a quick intro now because this game started on time. Didn't expect that. And was doing some of the other posts that you may see on our accounts. Duke beat Siena, down the entire game, tied at the last media timeout. They get across the line over a 16 seed, and then they beat TCU. They pull away late, but the whistle was really, really poor in that game, and Duke did not deserve to win by that margin. And then in terms of St. John's, they beat Northern Iowa in the round of 64. It was a game that was over almost immediately. And then they beat Kansas last weekend in a really, really ugly game with a bunch of turnovers, not a lot of good offense. So that is how these teams meet in the Sweet 16 in Washington, D.C. in the East region. Duke leads 11-9 here at the first media timeout. We'll be back after the break. And we are back, folks. 14:30 or so remaining, and Caleb Foster is in the game for Duke. Let's see how he's moving around Like I said, foot surgery just 3 weeks ago. He throws the oop to Ngongba, and he throws it down. So look pretty good there, as the two guys involved with that pick and roll have been injured. Hopkins slices right through and lays it in for two. So pretty easy shots, all things considered, so far, at least compared to what I thought. Boozer now gets it in, and he takes Ian Jackson all the way. He floats it up to Ngongba, and the shot is no good, but he is fouled. So Pat Ngongba to the line for two. It's a middle ball screen handoff. It's a great play by Duke, and Foster showing a little bit of burst there. See how much Duke can give, how much Caleb Foster can give Duke. There is a reason that they haven't been playing so great with him out recently. And Ngongba airballs the first free throw. He changes the way that they play defense and provides a little bit of another guard that can do something other than just Caden Boozer. And at times, Caden Boozer hasn't been great recently either. So, could change the picture here for Duke, who have not played great so far in the tournament, if they wish to continue. It's 0 for 2 for Ngongba here, and St. John's will bring it the other way. It's Mitchell, Sanan, Jackson, Hopkins, and Ejiofor on the floor for the Red Storm. Kamenia checks in for Duke along with the other two. It's a triple by Ian Jackson, and that is pure. And the Red Storm take the lead. And it's just simple off a little bit of a pin down. Sits behind the screen, and he knocks it down. Ian Jackson, the former North Carolina Tar Heel, puts 3 points through for the Red Storm. Ngongba now Kamenia. Boozer now guarded by Hopkins. Boozer, and they're just going to let him go one-on-one. He pumps, he flips it up, and he cannot get the roll. So they are just letting Boozer go one-on-one with Hopkins so far. Ejiofor running the floor really well, and he is fouled by Caden Boozer, so 2 free throws for Zuby Ejiofor. Zuby 18 points, 9 boards in the game against Kansas last week in California in the round of 32. And the first free throw goes down. And Ejiofor makes the second, and they take a 3-point lead. 12-2 run over the past 2 minutes for St. John's. Evans now for Duke. Goes left, guarded by Ejiofor. Evans barreling through. Nice pump fake, and it's good off the window. So Isaiah Evans taking the Big East Player of the Year, the Big East Defensive Player of the Year, down to the block and hitting him with the pump fake. And it's a triple by Ruben Prey, and he knocks it down. And St. John's take a 19-15 lead. Ruben Prey is a good three-point shooter. He's provided the Johnnies good backup minutes at the 5. Percentage-wise, he's pretty good. He doesn't take a ton of volume, but he is going to have to give them some good minutes tonight to get Zuby off the floor. Boozer crosses him over. Boozer flips it up, and it's rejected by Prey out of bounds. It'll stay here with Duke. So 11:51 remaining. The Blue Devils trail St. John's 19-15. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break. Tracy Wolfson just interviewed John Shire, and, not a whole lot in that. And it's another turnover here from Duke on the inbounds. Hopkins going the other way. Hopkins hangs, and it is blocked, and he is fouled by Ngongba. But in that interview, they were saying that they just need a couple of different people. They need to do some ball handling by committee to get this St. John's pressure. They have not. They dealt with it well the first few times, but they did not deal with it well here on St. John's run. And then, they couldn't even get the ball inbounds there. So another turnover for Duke. It's 2 free throws here for Bryce Hopkins to extend the St. John's lead. 15.5 points a game for Bryce Hopkins in the tournament. It's his last year of college basketball. He started at Kentucky. He transferred to Providence. And now he finds himself playing for Rick Pitino and the Red Storm. The first free throw by Hopkins is no good off the back iron. And Hopkins avoids the empty trip. St. John's leads 20-15. Kimenia now inbounding it, and he has to throw it up to Boozer. This is Cam Boozer, who's going to take it all the way, and the layup is no good. The rebound is corralled by Ian Jackson, so another stop by St. John's here. Jackson, Mitchell, Jackson takes the triple. No. Rebounded by Prey. Nope, it's Kimenia who takes it from him. And Duke get the rebound and the stop. The stop and the rebound. Intense ball pressure from the Red Storm so far. It's really bothering Duke. They are having to start their offense so far out. Evans gets the dribble handoff. He takes the triple from way behind the line. That is no good. Rebound is corralled by Hopkins. And now Mitchell will bring it the other way for St. John's. Boozer picking up Mitchell. Jackson off the DHO. Fires it over to Hopkins. Pump fakes. Hopkins looking to take Kimenia. Prey. Now Senan for 3. In and out. Rebounded by Prey. What a great rebound there by Ruben Prey, and he is fouled by Pat Ngongba. So great hustle off the bench and great minutes that Ruben Prey is providing here. He's getting Zuby Ejiofor some much-needed rest. Even if he didn't foul him, he did toss it back off him anyway. So it was 11-4 Duke, and it is a 16-4 run in response to that by St. John's. Foster goes back to the bench. And Ejiofor is back in for St. John's. Senan takes the corner 3. That's no good. Ejiofor with the rebound. Jackson now for 3. No. Rebound is corralled by Caden Boozer, and Duke will bring it the other way. So St. John's missing a few good looks here from behind the arc. Evans now. They're looking for Boozer inside, and they can't get it to him. It's another Duke turnover. Jackson the other way in transition. They're looking inside for Ejiofor. He's got Evans down low. It's blocked by Malik Brown. Coming over on the help defense. And the ball is knocked out of bounds by St. John. So great hustle there by Malik Brown. If it was Ejiofor one-on-one with Evans, that was going to be a layup. But Brown times the jump perfectly. And he gets the block as the secondary defender. So 10-11 remaining. Just about a quarter of the way through this one. And the Red Storm lead by 5. Duke has not dealt with this St. John's pressure well so far. It's been 6 possessions since they last scored. Boozer barreling inside, pump fake, and they're going to call a foul on the floor before the shot, so the basket will not count. 4 early turnovers for the Blue Devils. So Boozer will inbound it to Evans, guarded by Ozias Sellers. Evans taking him down into the post, pump fake, and he lays it up and in. So a great play there by Isaiah Evans. And it does the too small motion on the way back. That's just a strong play by Evans. Hopkins, corner 3, is good. So Bryce Hopkins ready on the wing for the catch and shoot, and he knocks it down, and St. John's have a 6-point lead. 4 of 10 so far from downtown for the Red Storm, just 1 of 4 from Duke. They're looking inside for Boozer, one-on-one with Hopkins. He flips it up, no good, but Brown is there to tip it in. So Malik Brown, obviously so many conversions there on Boozer when he gets the ball, and you leave your guy to go help. You very see that weak side rebound so easily corralled by the offensive team. Evans takes it all the way in transition, and he throws it down. So a little bit of rhythm here for Duke on the offensive end. 8 early points for Isaiah Evans. And Brown knocks the ball out, and it'll stay with St. John's. And Evans with some burst there to go right around Dylan Mitchell. And the help is a little not really there from Bryce Hopkins. He backs away. 16 points in the paint for Duke so far of their 21. That is something that Rick Pitino and St. John's will not be very happy with. Ejiofor has it now on the top of the key. Ian Jackson now is going to have to shoot this. Short clock. Jackson kicks it. Mitchell does not see the shot clock, and it goes off. It's a turnover on St. John's. Pitino not very happy about them not paying attention to the shot clock there. But they're going to have to inbound it from a dead ball here. Sarr will inbound it. Cannot run the baseline. Cam Boozer will take a seat for Duke. They get it indicated in the corner. Bryce Hopkins now on the other Boozer. And Caden's going to go all the way. And the layup is no good. But it's stolen by Brown. Sarr throws it down, and we are tied. So Duke doing their best to attack the pressure rather than just try and get it across. There's a blatant missed layup, easy layup there from Caden Boozer, but Brown was able to get the rebound. He gives it to Sarr for 2. 18 points in the paint already for Duke. Mitchell is going to take the wing 3. He doesn't take a lot of them, and this one goes down. So Dylan Mitchell with the triple. And St. John's back up by 3. Kamenia gets it into Caden Boozer. And he will bring it up for Duke. And Kamenia is fouled by Dylan Mitchell. And that'll be our under 8 media timeout. So an incredibly interesting game so far. St. John's leads 26-23. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break. Tracy just finished up interviewing Rick Pitino. He said, she asked him how they're going to stop him getting the paint, scoring so many in the paint. He said, we have to do our work early. We have to stop them from getting there. And he also said it might be a special day because Dylan Mitchell made a three. Kemenia down low, layup is no good, and they're going to call a foul. That is not a very good call there. That is not a foul. Duke got away with one there. Hopkins didn't like the call. Kemenia, let's see, Hopkins, yeah, that is not a foul. Bad call there. Duke got away with one. See if that foul comes back to Bryce Hopkins. It is just his first, but Kemenia rattles in the first free throw. Nope, that is Bryce Hopkins' second foul. My bad, that was a mistake. So he is probably going to have to sit for the remainder of this first half, or at least most of it. So 2 for 2 for Kemenia. Not only does he get 2 points that he shouldn't get, but Hopkins now with a big second foul. So Boozer, Cam Boozer, that is, back into the game. Caden has never left it, I don't think. Prey and Ejiofor now in at the 4 and 5 for St. John's. Jackson for 3 from the corner. No. Rebound is corralled by Prey. No, it's not. Boozer takes it from him. He flips it over to his brother, and now Duke bringing it the other way. Evans flips it into Boozer. Guarded by Ejiofor. Boozer travels. Definitely moved that pivot foot a couple of times. The refs let that first one go, but they weren't going to let him get away with it again. So he picked it up there. His left foot is moving, spinning. Yeah. Definitely a travel there. The 5th turnover for Duke. Sellers now in the game. He hasn't really got going yet. Neither has Zuby. And now Mitchell. Now Ejiofor, top of the key, looking for Prey on the DHO. I don't know if this is a good idea. Sellers now gets inside. He gets it on Evans' hip, and the mid-range is no good. Rebound by Brown. Now Boozer can push it the other way for Duke. Boozer crosses over. Boozer slices through, and he lays it up and in. And the Blue Devils take the lead. So a nice play there in the secondary break off the transition for Caden Boozer, and the Blue Devils have the lead. Sellers now. Ejiofor. Jackson flips it over to Mitchell. Now Ejiofor down low. Will they bring another defender? Yes, they will. Sarr's going to come. Ejiofor's going to flip it up, and the ball will go out of bounds. It'll stay with St. John. So a great job there by Duke. That was a really tough shot there by Ejiofor. So it looks like they're going to wait until he dribbles and makes that first, little bump with his arms or with his shoulder before they bring 2. Mitchell throws it into Ejiofor. It's knocked out of bounds. Stay with St. John's. Darling back into the game for St. John's. I feel like they need a little bit more guard presence on potentially getting past their guy and getting into the lane. Sellers now slices through, and it is blocked by, I'm not sure, could have been any of 3 guys in the paint. Boozer now driving, kicks it. Evans, pump fake, sidestep for 3. That is good. Isaiah Evans from downtown. And Duke has a 30-26 lead. Ejiofor now with Brown. DHO for Darling. There's going to be a foul there on Boozer. So St. John's a little bit of an offensive lull here. And Malik Brown just coming over and taking that thing out of the sky for his second block of the game. And now the Evans triple, the flyby, the sidestep, and the onions from downtown for Isaiah Evans. 4 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks for Malik Brown so far. Caden Boozer will check out of the game for the first time. Jackson coming around, Sanan rather, coming around to get it. Mitchell barreling through to the baseline. Over to Sellers, now Ejiofor. in the post. Will they bring two? They won't. And Malik Brown just falls down, and it's the easiest 2 points that Zuby Ejiofor will have of the game. They get it into Malik Brown here. Now Foster is back into the game for Duke for the second time. That is Ejiofor's first field goal of the day. He is now 1 for 5. Boozer barely gets it across in 10 seconds. And they get it back down low Mitchell. This is a mismatch. They're going to have to bring help. And Boozer lays it in. And the foul. Really good position there by Cam Boozer. Realized he had the mismatch, and he basically just turned and shot over him. Dylan Mitchell. Let's see who they get with the foul there. It could be Mitchell or Zuby. But it will be a free throw for Cam Boozer. Just 5 points and 1 rebound in this first half. 4:43 remaining. And Boozer completes the 3-point play. 33-28 Blue Devils here. Duke took that punch from St. John's. They have delivered one back now. Can they extend this lead, or can St. John's fight back? Ejiofor one-on-one with Ngongba in the post. Ejiofor beats him baseline, kicks it. Sanan, baseline triple. No. Rebound by Foster. And now Boozer will bring it the other way here from Duke. Boozer breaking down Prey. And he flips it up, and he is fouled. So Duke's really taking it to him in the paint. A lot of points in the paint. A lot of fouls on St. John's. Red Storm are going to have to play a little better defense without fouling here. Or Duke is just going to keep taking it inside. St. John's has also probably got to make a few shots, too. And Boozer hits the first one. So Duke leads by 6. 22.4 points per game, 10.3 rebounds, 4 assists for Cam Boozer. They're comparing him to the Larry legend, Larry Bird, 1976 to 77 for Indiana State. Pretty similar stats. Cam Boozer, in my opinion, will be the player of the year. I think Darius Acuff has made a push here late, but I think it is going to be Boozer for the whole season. 35-28 Duke here. It's been a nice extended run here from the Blue Devils. St. John's feels like they've got to show something back here. 12-2 run over the last 3 minutes. And there's a foul on Isaiah Evans. That'll be Duke's 5th. So one more until free throws the rest of the way for St. John's. Red Storm have committed 7 fouls, so 2 more 1-and-1 and then 2 shots for Duke. Ejiofor gives it to Darling, guarded by the bigger and more athletic Sarr. Sanan drives through and he loses it. Turnover for St. John's, and Foster bringing it the other way for Duke. Boozer guarded by Prey. Trying to back him down. The double comes. The ball movement comes. Evans on the drive. The floater is no good. Sarr with the offensive rebound. The ball did not hit the rim. The shot clock did not reset. Foster realizes he's got 5 seconds left. Foster, the turnaround J, is no good. Rebound is on the floor, and it's going to be a foul on Ngongba. So a nice hustle there by Ruben Prey. Let's see exactly what happened here on the floor. Ball goes through his legs. Prey does get to it first, and yeah, Ngongba does foul him. That is the correct call. Duke leads by 7 here with 3:26 remaining. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the last media timeout here, the first half. Duke leads 35-28. The Blue Devils operating pretty exclusively in the paint here, and St. John's has not done particularly well defending it. 14 of 24 from the field for Duke, while St. John's is just 10 of 24, so not a bunch of possessions in this game. We still have 3 minutes and change here left in the first half. Can St. John's pull this thing a little bit closer? Sanan, pump fake, really good hedge. Darling, wide open triple, and he hits it. Much needed triple there by St. John's. And the Red Storm are within 4, and they can set up their press. Foster, guarded by Darling. Boozer just gets it across. He doesn't quite realize it. Foster now on the right wing, guarded by Darling. Now Evans at the top of the key, guarded by Sellers. This is going to be a short clock here for Duke. They've got 5. It's Sarr. Sarr barrels all the way through, flips it up, no good, but Brown puts it up on the rim, but they're going to call a foul. Did he get that shot off before the shot clock? That is the question. Sarr barrels through, just tries to put it up. Brown does a really good job, and he gets that up in time before the shot clock goes off. Barely, but so this is going to be 2 shots for Malik Brown. Man, he is in the right place at the right time very often. So he gets the first one to go here. Caden Boozer and Kamenia checking back in as Foster checks out. You can see, that Foster is extremely limited here. He's given him a few minutes here and there. Again, I think it's truly remarkable that he is playing. Foot surgery just over 3 weeks ago. Just spelling Keaton Boozer a little bit, getting him a break here and there. Could really mean a lot down the stretch. Brown goes 2 for 2 to give Duke back their 6-point lead. Boozer, that is Caden Boozer and Ngongba with 2 fouls for Duke, and then 3 St. John's players with 2 fouls. Mitchell Hopkins among them. Leotopoulos is in for St. John's for the first time. Lefteris Leotopoulos. Ejiofor for 3 is good. So St. John's taking a lot of triples today. That is now 6 on the game for them. They're within 3. Kamenia picks up his dribble here, and Boozer gets it across. Boozer slices through, and they're going to call Ejiofor for the foul here. Pretty good defense there by Zuby, but he just sort of lost his footing and then brought Boozer down with him. Oh, so that is really unfortunate for Ejiofor. The reason why is because Boozer stepped on him. So, unfortunate there by Zuby, but you do have to let the offensive player land. So, Boozer to the line, he makes the first. 1:49 remaining in this first half. Feels really important here for St. John's to be within, 3 or 4 points at the half. This is going to be a violation if the free throw is no good. And it's no good, so Boozer's going to get another chance. Ejiofor saying that Brown dragged him in here. And he did a little bit, but I don't know. That's just a lack of concentration there by Ejiofor. Feels like, as I was saying before, St. John's need to keep this within probably 3, 4, 5 points. So I feel like they haven't played bad, but it's just so difficult to come back on Duke. So 39-34. Boozer gets the mulligan on the free throw after the lane violation. And he makes the second one. A little bit of zone pressure here by Duke, and it's a 3-2 zone here. So a little bit of a change up here by John Shire. What does Patino have for the zone offense? Ejiofor at the high post, one-on-one with Boozer. He spins, kicks it out. Leotopoulos for 3. It's short. Rebound is knocked out of bounds by St. John's, are going to say. This is Duke ball. Potentially a challenge for St. John's. And Patino does not look like it. So Duke ball here, 1:29 remaining, up 5, with a chance to extend it. The other game has got underway. It's the Crimson Tide of Alabama that lead 11-2 over Michigan in the early going. Boozer picks up his dribble. Now he gets it to his brother Cam, guarded by Zuby. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Boozer crosses over, gets the switch on Leotopoulos. Now Kamenia for three. No. Rebound is corralled by Ejiofor. Nice box out there by Darling. Darling. Prey, corner three. Knocks it down. Ruben Prey. The big man from Portugal with his second triple of the game. And it's going to be John Shire and Duke who use their use it or lose it timeout. So the Johnnies hanging so far. Duke up 2. Short break. We'll be back. We are back from the break. 50 seconds remaining here in the first half. Duke will have to inbound it. St. John's taking a lot of threes today. Not something they do a ton of. I mean, they're not Arizona, but they are not usually putting up this many threes. Duke, on the other hand, exclusively in the paint at the free throw line pretty much. Boozer all the way to the hoop, flips it up, and it is blocked by Ruben Prey and out of bounds. And Ruben Prey with the 2 triples, a couple of nice hustle plays. He has been a difference maker here in the first half for the Red Storm. Boozer will inbound. 40 seconds now remaining in the first half. Evans for 3 from the wing. No. Rebound by Ejiofor. And St. John's can pretty much hold for 1 here. About 7 seconds left in between the game and the shot clock, so maybe not, actually. They have a chance to tie it here or take the lead. 20 seconds remaining in this one. It's Ejiofor now. Jackson at the top of the key. 10 seconds left on the shot clock here. Prey, high ball screen. Jackson, Prey, wide open triple. It's good. Ruben Prey gives St. John's the lead. Boozer now the other way. Can Duke now retake it before the half? Boozer, mid-range. No, and the Red Storm take a 40-39 lead into the break. Ruben Prey has had 3 threes, 9 points, a block, a couple of nice rebounds, and the Red Storm take the lead going into the break. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the second half. What a great run to finish that that first half for St. John's. Red Storm up 40-39. We'll be back after the break. We're back for the second half. In fact, it's already started, and I'm a little late. Sorry about that. Duke has taken a 41-40 lead, and it is Darling who now will bring it up for St. John's, and he is fouled by Malik Brown. In the other game, Bama leads Michigan 38-33. That one looks like it could go either way at this point. So Bryce Hopkins now back into the game for St. John's, along with Dylan Mitchell as well. Some of the people with 2 fouls. Hopkins now has it on the top of the keys, looking for Zuby inside. He takes it right past Evans, and he misses the layup. Ejiofor the rebound, pump fake. He is blocked. Really great defense at the rim by Duke. Boozer now in transition. Boozer slips it through, fires it over to Evans. Wide open 3. Nylon. Isaiah Evans from downtown. And Duke lead by 4. Mitchell looking inside for Ejiofor, and they're going to get a foul on Malik Brown. Great pass there by Boozer. He's going to get that layup blocked if he tried to shoot it. And Evans gets the puppies organized on the three-point line and knocks it down. Sellers, corner 3 for St. John's. That is in and out. Rebound by Zuby. He is blocked by Boozer. Another block at the rim by Duke. Boozer pick and roll here. Boozer gets the secondary screen from Malik Brown. Boozer flips it up. Air ball. Was looking for the foul there. He was not going to get it. Darling now the other way. We got some pace into this game. Hopkins drives, and he is fouled. Got some real pace in this one. Duke playing with a little bit more aggressiveness on the offensive end. Their defensive aggressiveness has been there all day. It's Caleb Foster who's now laid out of the locker room. Let's see what they have to say. Sellers, corner mid-range is good. So a nice play there out of the baseline, out of bounds. And St. John's is within 2. Boozer now. Barely got it across again. That is going to be something that, he was not being really all that challenged, and he just walks it across, and it's picked off by Ejiofor. He throws it down, and we are tied at 44. Great read there by Ejiofor. Boozer getting a little bit lazy with that pass, and he turns it into a pick 6. St. John's with a little bit of a 4-0 spurt of their own here. Evans coming to get it off the side screen. The triple is no good after a couple of bounces, but it goes right to Brown, tipped around, no good. St. John's bringing it the other way with Hopkins. A lot of pace in this one. Mitchell slides through, and he gets it to go, and the foul. Dylan Mitchell has a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play. Yeah, man, Dylan Mitchell just beating everybody down the floor, and it's Caden Boozer who gets him with on the body. And it'll be a chance for Dylan Mitchell for a three-point play. 46-44 St. John's. 11 points for Mitchell in the first half. He hit a triple. And this free throw is short. Rebounded by Boozer. Feels like, and Darling just takes it from him. Ejiofor throws it down. Zuby, Ejiofor. It's an 8-0 run by St. John's, and John Shire is seen enough. He's going to call a timeout. Great start to the second half for the Red Storm. St. John's leads 48-44. This is the first called timeout of the second half, so it'll serve as the first media. Red Storm up 4. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break. An 8-0 run by St. John's in the last minute 38 has given the Red Storm a 4-point lead here over Duke, and they get it into Boozer, and he gets it across. Boozer puts it on the floor. It's another turnover. Dylan Mitchell throws it up, edge of 4, lays it in. So the St. John's defense causing a whole bunch of pressure, and they lead by 6. Sarr gets it poked out. And my goodness, Duke not very good with the ball security so far. Turning it over a lot, putting the ball on the floor, and leading to some easy runouts for St. John's. Red Storm getting after it on the defensive end. Hey, look, you can't guard the paint. Don't let them get in there. And that's what they're doing here at the start of the second half. 10-0 run for St. John's. Foster is now checked in for Duke. He was late out of the locker room. It is now out of bounds at about half for Duke. They get it into Foster. And now Ngongba in also. This is a short clock already for Duke. Evans gets it. Evans is fouled. On the floor. Edge of 4, a little bit too handsy out there on the perimeter. He definitely did that a few times before getting called. Rick Pitino and St. John's have been a different animal since he took over in Queens, since he came down from Iona. 27 wins a season, an 11-win increase on average from the previous 24 seasons. He has awoken this beast at St. John's. Evans comes to get it from Ngongba. They switch edge of 4 on him again. Evans drives and he falls, and that's going to be a travel. Oh no, they're going to call a foul. They're going to call a foul on St. John's. Not sure that that's the right call there. Let's see here. Edge of 4 on the cross. Oh, man. Does Darling get him? Yes, he does. He steps on him. Okay, so the right call there. He tripped him up down low. I was looking up top for the reach. He didn't connect on his reach, but he did kick him or trip him down low. Prey is in, and he knocks the ball out of bounds. It'll stay with Duke. So the energy from St. John's right now really, really causing Duke a whole lot of problems. Ian Jackson now in the game for the Red Storm. Michigan has taken the lead in the other game. They lead by 3 with a minute left before the half. They throw it into Boozer, guarded by Prey. Boozer barrels in. The double comes. He kicks it over to Foster. Foster slips through. Now Sarr for 3. No. Rebound by edge of 4. Mitchell going down in the post. Jackson to Zuby. Now Prey, corner 3. He's good. Ruben Prey gives St. John's a 9-point lead. The Portuguese forward is 4 for 4 from downtown. It is now a 13-0 run for St. John's. Boozer barrels through it. It's blocked by Prey. And Ngongba gets it now, and Ngongba is fouled by edge of 4. But man, Ruben Prey, what a difference maker. The Portuguese forward off the bench is. He's making threes. He's blocking shots. He's getting rebounds. This is not something that he does every game. St. John's to the break. We are back from the break. St. John's has opened up a 9-point lead here with 15:26 to play. Ruben Prey been a big part of that. He's hit 4 triples. He's blocked some shots. He's rebounded some missed shots. But it is Patrick Ngongba to the line here for 2 for Duke. And the first free throw is way short. He's now 0 for 3, and he has not come close to making a free throw yet. Ngongba did return for Duke in the last game against TCU. And Caleb Foster has returned today. Both players definitely not 100%. And Ngongba makes his 4th free throw of the day there to bring Duke within 8. Ngongba and Foster still pretty clearly limited, but they're giving Duke a little bit of a reason to play him. A little bit of a change up here for John Shire, a 3-2 zone. It's causing St. John's a minute here to get set, and they're going to have to take a bad shot here. Short clock. Jackson pulls up from the free throw line. It is good. So Ian Jackson gives St. John's a 10-point lead. And if you're St. John's, you just want this clock to bleed away. A 15-1 run over 3 minutes. Foster now on the ball screen. They're going to switch it. Now it's Boozer back up top, guarded by Prey. Boozer barreling through. Boozer spins, kicks it. Foster. Short clock, now they're under 10. Foster on the drive, kicks it. Boozer pump fakes, and he tries to get the foul. He doesn't. Rebound by Ngongba. Boozer now has to take the 3, and it's short. Rebound by Foster, and he lays it up and in. So a couple of second chances there by Duke. And they're able to get 2. Good defense there by St. John's, but you got to finish it with a rebound. Unable to do so there. That's Caleb Foster's first and 2nd points of the ball game. Duke back in this zone. They're trying to keep St. John's out of the lane. It's a little bit of a 3-2. Sellers now. It turns into a matchup. And St. John's has not got this inside the paint yet. It's edge of 4, mid-range, no good. Ball is on the floor. It's rebounded by Ngongba. So you'd have to think Duke is going to stick with that for a little bit here. Patino's got to find a way to get it into the middle of that zone. But Foster and Duke on offense here first. Foster all the way to the hoop. He lays it in. Nice seal there by Ngongba. A little bit of a 4-0 Caleb Foster run, pulling Duke within 6. And Rick Pitino and St. John's are going to call a timeout. 13:29 remaining here. The switch to the 3-2 zone has caused Duke to pull this thing just a little bit closer. St. John's leads 55-49. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the quick timeout. It's a darling floater, and it goes down. So a quick timeout there. Patino clearly wanting them to get the ball inside. They do it. They get Darling into the lane. He makes the floater for 2. St. John's back up by 8. Foster driving to the hoop. He's got it down low. He lays it up and in. So 6 points now for Caleb Foster. Despite him playing on a broken foot or surgery 3 weeks ago to repair the broken foot, he's been getting to the lane here the last couple of minutes. It's a corner 3 by Sellers. It's in and out. Darren Harris, number 8, has entered the game for Duke for the first time, just to probably give Caden Boozer and Evans a little bit of a blow together. Foster now driving to the hoop, and he takes it right at Sellers, and he is fouled. So it's that same action they've now run a couple of times in a row, where they get Foster downhill, and then they get the secondary big man on a seal. The last one resulted in a bucket. This one resulted in two free throws. So Foster doing everything he can. You can say he is not running super great right now, but he's still giving some good minutes to Duke, and that free throw is way off by Foster. Alabama has taken a 49-47 lead over Michigan at the half. We will not be we'll be cutting this stream off here, but we will be going live back at 11 p.m. Eastern or a little bit later, depending on how the later games are going. Mike, Joe, and I will all be here to recap the action. So Darling struggling to get it across half here. He does, but he is fouled by Kamenia. So now 4 fouls on each team here in the second half. Free throws likely going to become a part of this game in just a few minutes. 57-52. Foster did make that second free throw, my bad. St. John's up by 5. This switch to the zone has stalled the Red Storm's momentum a little bit. They are 8 of their last 10 from the field, however. Hopkins now has it on the right wing. Now it's over to Sellers. Now they got to get it inside. Now they do. Ejiofor at the free throw line. He's going to take the jumper, and it's no good. Rebounded by Boozer, and he's going to slow it up, and he's going to get it to Foster. So can St. John's keep Caleb Foster in front? They hit Boozer on the short roll, Boozer on the drive, and he lays it in. That is way too easy. Just a little bit of a counter off their last set that had Foster going to the hoop, and it's a turnover. Foster for 3 in the tie. That's an air ball. So a turnover for St. John's on the inbounds pass there. And that'll leave us with 11:46 to go. St. John's went on their run, got a double-digit lead. Duke has responded with a little bit of a push of their own. 11:46 remaining. St. John's leads by 3. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break. It is St. John's ball here, up 3. Duke, this little counter to this 2-3/3-2 amoeba zone has given them a chance here. They get it to Ejiofor inside. Nice ball movement. Sellers, corner three. That is good. Osiah Sellers from the corner, and St. John's leads by 6. I think maybe Duke might have to go back to man-to-man. Boozer now has it at the top of the key. He barrels in, spins, flips it up. No good. Gets his own rebound. Pump fakes, dribbles, pump fakes, lays it up and in. Nice finish there by Cam Boozer, and Duke is back within 4. Darling gets it across, and Duke back in this 3-2 again after that press. Ejiofor, Darling, now Sellers. If that was a clean catch, he probably would have shot it again, but he fumbled it a little bit, so no. Ejiofor now, free throw line, kicks it. Mitchell in the corner. Darling for 3, no. Rebound is out of bounds. Nicely done there by Foster to knock the ball off of Ejiofor, and it's going to go back to Duke. We're about 3/4 of the way through this one. And Caleb Foster, there's an argument that he has been the best player on the floor for Duke today in his limited time. Joe Sansanan is going to come in for Sellers, it looks like. So Kamenia gets it into Foster there. And now Darling picks him up. So no Hopkins is back in. He was out for the last period here. He is now guarding Boozer. Ejiofor is on Ngongba. Foster gets the double. Now Boozer flips it up to Ngongba. Ngongba now to Kamenia, who hits the little teardrop in front, and Duke are within 2. 10 minutes to go here in this one. Back and forth, a ton of runs. Who is going to get across the line and into the Elite 8 in the East region? Duke's still in this zone. They've had to go to zone these last 2 games against Siena and TCU. Ejiofor, now Hopkins. They can't get the ball inside here. They need to look inside. Hopkins spins, gets the ball by the free throw line. Hopkins, turnaround jumper is good. Bryce Hopkins with a big-time shot. And the Red Storm lead by 4. And Duke is going to have trouble getting this across. And they don't. 10 seconds. Great defense there by St. John's. And Ngongba got the rebound. He handed it off to Foster. And Foster basically had to go the entire half court in 4 seconds. And he nearly made it, but he didn't. Yeah, at this point, I think you got to fire it across half. And he wasn't going to move fast enough. Allen is now out. And not Allen, sorry, his name is Harris. And Evans is back in. So Evans has been out for this little period as well. 9:24 remaining. St. John's up 4 with a chance to extend it. Duke still in this little 3-2 zone. Darling gets inside. Ejiofor now. Darling. Now it's Ejiofor down low. Good position by Zuby, and he misses. That's a good look. He's got to convert it. And now Boozer with the rebound, and he flips it to his brother, and he brings it the other way. Boozer on the drive. Now Kamenia is fouled by Darling. Darling tried to set the charge. He was just a half beat too late, and he gets dinged for the blocking foul. Yeah, if he had waited another second and perhaps waited for the next dribble, I think he could have got it, but unfortunately for Darling, no. That is his 3rd foul. So he will check out for Ian Jackson. 9 minutes remaining here. St. John's leads 62-58. Boozer now up top, guarded by Hopkins. It looks like Boozer's running the offense here. He gets a screen from Evans. Now he gets Hopkins down low. Are they going to bring a second defender? They do. Jackson comes for the double. Ball movement here for Evans. Dribbles. Pump fake. Step back. Jumper is good. Isaiah Evans with one of the cleanest jumpers in the game. Knocks down that mid-range. And gets Duke within 2. That's points 15 and 16 for Isaiah Evans. Jackson now. Hopkins looking to get it inside of this zone. They get a post touch. Ejiofor guarded by Ngongba. Boozer is right there to help, and he knocks it out of bounds. Patino's telling Hopkins that he's got to get out of there. Boozer can't be too close to Ejiofor there in the post. So 6 seconds left on the shot clock here for St. John's. It's Hopkins underneath. 8:19 now remaining in this one. They throw it into Mitchell. Now it's Jackson. He's going to have to put it up from way downtown. It's no good. Rebounded by Isaiah Evans, and Duke can bring it the other way. They can tie it or take the lead. We are nearing our under 8 media timeout. It will be the next whistle. Boozer now. It's the same set that they just ran. Evans for 3 in the lead. Got it. Isaiah Evans doesn't need a lot of space. Had about a foot of it there. He got the pick and pop, and he hit the triple. And the Blue Devils have taken the lead for the first time in over 9 minutes. It's a corner 3 by Hopkins, and he knocks it down. Bryce Hopkins gives St. John's the lead. Man, that was out of nothing. That was a pass to the wing, and he put it up, and he knocked it down. Kamenia now gets it across for Duke. 7.5 minutes to go here. Red Storm lead by 2. Boozer now up top, and guess what? They're running the same pick and roll with Evans. Pick and pop, Evans. Pump fake this time. He's going to drive, he's going to flip it up, and he's going to knock it in. Tie game at 65. 7 minutes now remaining. We are owed a media timeout, so the next whistle will be one. Both teams can trigger it here with a timeout. 2 timeouts remaining. Duke back in this zone. Can they get Ejiofor inside? He's going to come to the 3-point line to get it. Ball movement here. Mitchell now has it in the short corner, guarded by Ngongba. Jackson, corner 3. No. Rebounded by Evans. And Duke can bring it the other way here. 6.5 minutes to go in this one. 5 fouls on each team, so 1 more foul before we go to the bonus. Little double stagger here for Evans. 3 from the top of the key. No. And they have a foul here, but I don't believe it's on the shot. It's going to be on. Yeah, so Jackson ran through and Ngongba, who's the screener here. It will be Duke ball after the timeout. 6:23 remaining. We are all tied up at 65. Don't go anywhere. We are back from break here. They're talking over the call before. So they're going to call a flagrant one here on Ian Jackson for barreling through the screen. The two-handed push near the neck area. Yeah, so he hits him about here, and then his hand comes up into his face. That is probably the right call. But the first free throw is no good. So, at the very least here, Ngongba is going to get just 1 point. Now here's the second free throw, and it's short again. So after all that, it's as if they didn't upgrade it at all. Still tied here, still Duke ball, obviously at the point of interruption. And Ngongba can't be out there if he's 1 for 6 from the free throw line with 5 misses that are nowhere close. He can't be out there at this point. So it's Duke ball out of bounds. Can they take the lead here with 6 minutes left? Evans now guarded by Mitchell. Evans driving hard to his right. Picks up his dribble. Now Boozer, top of the key. Guarded by Hopkins. Boozer drives to the right, crosses over. Now back to the right. Boozer barreling inside. Lays it up and in. So Cam Boozer gives Duke the lead. 6 minutes to go here in this one. Sinan now on the drive, gets in the paint. He flips it up, no good. A little bit out of control there. Probably could have done a little bit of a better job at getting some contact and getting fouled, but he doesn't get it. Boozer now. A Boozer screen at the top. Oh, man. Darling is smoked with the screen. And they're going to call the foul on Darling. That's a tough sequence there for Darling. He gets hit with the screen hard. Boozer's pushing off, and then he reaches in there and gets called for the reach. So a 1-and-1 here for Cam Boozer. Nope, Caden Boozer. Sorry. Darling now will check out. That is his 4th foul. So Patino's going to have to manage him. Between Jackson and Darling, they're the 2 point guards. One of them's going to have to be in, and Jackson with the flagrant one, Darling with 4 fouls. They're going to go for Jackson for the time being, and Boozer misses the front end of the 1-and-1. So Duke 11 of 18 from the free throw line today, leaving some shots on the line, just 3 for 5 for St. John's. The Red Storm trail by 2. Can they tie it or take the lead? Sellers now on the drive. Now Mitchell, they're looking inside for Zuby. They can't get it to him. Now it's Jackson. Step back triple. No. Really good defense there by Duke. This zone has been, I think, the difference if Duke can pull this off. Tough time for St. John's to go cold. The ball is tipped, and now it's Brown that gets it. And not a lot going here for Duke. This possession, Boozer comes to get it. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Kamenia is going to come for the screen. Boozer barreling in, spins, fade away, no. Rebound by Hopkins. So St. John's get a nice stop. Can they parlay it with a score on the other end? Hopkins, 1-on-1 with Kamenia. He loses it, gets it back. Now he gets it over to Sellers. So nearly a bad turnover there. They need to get it inside of this zone here. Sellers drives, flips it up, and that is blocked by Malik Brown. And the save attempt is no good. Hopkins lays it up and in, and the foul. So a hectic sequence, broken play. You got players trying to fire it off the other one to save it. Doesn't go out of bounds when Brown tries it with Hopkins here. He gets it back, and he comes in, and he lays it in for a chance for a 3-point play. Bryce Hopkins. Malik Brown, the shot blocker, is now out of the play. Bryce Hopkins notices that and takes it right at the chin of the rim. 4:22 remaining here. We are owed one more media timeout shortly. Hopkins, 72% on the year, 1 of 2 from the line today. St. John's can take the lead here. And he does not get the roll, but it's Dylan Mitchell who flushes it home off the free throw miss. Little bit of a breakdown there from Duke on the free throw blockout, and St. John's have a 2-point lead. 69-67, 4 minutes remaining here in this one. And Duke is going to take their time, and Cam Boozer is going to run the offense, guarded by Hopkins. It's a little bit of a ghost screen by Isaiah Evans. Now he gets the ball, refuses the screen, step back, triple from the corner. That is good. My goodness, what a big time shot by Isaiah Evans. That is not an open three. That is a tough, tough shot. And Evans with 24 points. And Duke is back in front by one. Jackson now on the drive. Jackson floats it in over to Sellers. Mid-range from the corner is short. Rebound is corralled by Boozer. So it was a good look there by Sellers, but he was unable to knock it down, and Duke now can bring it the other way. Players look absolutely exhausted. 3 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Duke can extend their 1-point lead here. It's Boozer. Now they switch it, guarded by Jackson. A little bit of a mismatch here. Boozer barreling through. The floater is good off the window, and they're going to call a foul too. Wow. So Cam Boozer's going to have a chance for a 3-point play. Let's see here. Not a foul at all there. Not a foul at all. Could have called a travel. Unlucky there for St. John's. We've got 3 minutes remaining in this one. Under 4 immediate timeout. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the last media timeout. 3 minutes remaining. Cam Boozer and Duke have a chance to take a 4-point lead here with a free throw. Does St. John's have one final push in this one? The free throw by Boozer is good, and Duke leads by 4. St. John's had a double-digit second-half lead. This is not foreign territory to Duke. They have been trailing in the second half in all 3 of their tournament games, and they have come back to win them, obviously, because they're still here. Sellers guarded by Foster. Now Ejiofor at the top of the key, guarded by Brown. Dribble handoffs. Sellers, top of the key, triple is no good. Rebound is corralled by Foster. A good look there by Sellers, but he was unable to knock it down. This feels like a big possession here. We've got 2.5 minutes left. Duke can extend their lead to 6 or 7 with a bucket. Foster driving to the hoop, pump fakes, and it's blocked by Ejiofor out of bounds. Off of St. John's. Might be worth a challenge here. It still could have been on Foster's hand. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they should challenge this. St. John's should challenge this right now. And it does not look like they're going to. They got 2 timeouts left. They should. But they're not going to. So Foster will inbound it to Brown. And now Boozer at the top of the key. It's a short clock. What can Boozer do here? He's driving left. Boozer kicks it. Foster, pump fake. Mid-range jumper is good. Caleb Foster. What a performance for Foster, and Duke lead by 6 here with 2 minutes left. Still plenty of time remaining, but St. John's needs some buckets. Mitchell drives, kicks it to Hopkins. Now Ejiofor. Triple from the top of the key is good. Zuby Ejiofor. Big time shot. And St. John's is within 3. 1:45 remaining here. Foster gets it across. Guarded by Darling. Ejiofor 16, 8, and 6, and potentially his final college game. Foster and Duke content to see this clock bleed away. Foster drives. Foster lays it up and in. Beautiful patience there by Caleb Foster. And Duke leads by 5. Sellers, now Darling for 3. No. Rebound by Mitchell. Kicks it to Zuby. Now Hopkins. Now Ejiofor from the 3 from the same spot. He just made it from. No good again. Ball is out of bounds. It'll stay here with St. John's. So Foster just taking Darling down low. Takes the contact. Takes the swipe. And he lays it in very easily. Could have been an and one there by Caleb Foster. It's 1:07 remaining in this one. It looks like they're going to commercial. Maybe somebody called a timeout. But what a second half performance this has been from Duke. Caleb Foster, like I've been saying 3 weeks ago, had surgery on his broken foot. He is playing basketball tonight. It was widely rumored that he would be out for the season, maybe if they made the Final Four. But it's the Sweet 16. And he's had 11 points off the bench in 17 minutes. Been a big time add for them. Boozer with 20 and 10, Evans with 24. Been a really good performance from Duke. And then on the St. John side, 16 for Zuby, 13 for Hopkins and Mitchell, and 12 for Ruben Prey. You have to think that they're going to bring in Ruben Prey here, maybe for Mitchell, and go super big. You'd have everybody on the floor could make a 3. But I don't know. You go Sellers and the 4 big guys. Definitely something they could do, but doesn't look like it at this point. 1:07 remaining. St. John's ball underneath. They need a basket here and a stop. It's inbounded to Mitchell, and now Hopkins is going to come back to get it. Or he's not going to get it, actually. Duke has blown up this initial action here. Really well done. Sellers now on the drive. Kicks it to Hopkins. Hopkins drives baseline. The reverse layup is good. Duke gets it in here. There's about 22 seconds left in between the game and the shot clock. Up 3. I don't know if you can do this. You can put Pat Ngongba on the line. They're going to try and foul him here, and they don't foul him. And it's going to be a timeout for Duke. Man, Pat Ngongba has looked horrendous at the line tonight, and they had a chance to put him on the line for a 1-and-1. Darling didn't want to foul out of the game. And he didn't do it. Pitino giving Sellers an earful there. I don't know if it was Sellers or Darling, but man, he had him. That was a great opportunity to put Ngongba on the line, probably get the ball back down 3, but they didn't do it. Missed opportunity there. And they're going to another commercial here. I'm going to stay here. Yeah, that was a quick one. And Sellers is, yeah, I mean, he probably did foul him, but he got to foul him a little bit. So Patino now saying no fouls. 40.7 seconds left on the clock, 18 on the shot clock. This is a big risk to let this thing play out. You've got one more 1-1. If this goes into Ngongba, I think you got to foul him. And they get it into Foster, and it looks like they're going to play this out. They're going to be aggressive with it, potentially. Foster now gets the screen, and St. John's is switching everything 1 through 5. And now they're going to call an off-the-ball foul here. So after missing quite a few, you're going to call down on Dylan Mitchell. That was not the plan here. And yeah, I mean, Mitchell's pulling his shirt. That is definitely a foul. That is not what St. John's wanted to do there. Cam Boozer now to the line for a 1-1. 32.4 seconds left. So still a lot of time to extend this game for St. John's. The next foul will be double bonus, but Boozer is 6 for 6 on the day, 78% on the season. Can the presumptive National Player of the Year put Duke up 2 possessions here? He can't. Missed free throw. St. John's with the rebound. The Red Storm could tie it or come within 1 here. We are under 30 seconds left. Darling, now they get the switch. They don't really know what to do here now. It's Ejiofor. Now Ejiofor on the drive is fouled, and he missed the layup. So 2 free throws here by Zuby. 14.7 seconds remaining. This was a risky foul here by Dame Sarr, who gets beat. And Ejiofor very clearly could have made that layup. I think you got to let him go there and see if he can score that layup himself. So 71% on the year here for Zuby Ejiofor. There's 2 free throws. They are down 3. Can Zuby extend this game with some made free throws? The first free throw is good. Ejiofor started at Kansas. They knocked them off last week. And he has resurrected what was a little bit of a tough start to his college career with a great finish at St. John's. Big East Player of the Year, Big East Defensive Player of the Year. He's got a very important free throw here. Ejiofor is short on the second one. And St. John's needs to foul. They're going to foul Evans with 10 seconds left. So 2 free throws for Isaiah Evans. And if he is able to knock both of these down, Duke is likely going to move on to the next round. Rick Pitino's going to put him on ice a little bit here and call his final timeout. In the other game, it's been a great start to the second half for Michigan. They have opened this thing up a little bit. They lead Alabama by 13. A 23-11 start. So 70 points in 28 minutes for Michigan. That's a pretty good strategy when it comes to trying to win a basketball game. So 10 seconds left here. Duke leads by 2. Isaiah Evans on the line for 2. It is not a 1-on-1. 2 shots. So if he's able to make both, it's going to make things extremely difficult for St. John's. So Evans now to the line for 2. 86% on the season. He has 24 points tonight. He has not shot a free throw yet. Big free throws here by Isaiah Evans. The first free throw is off the back iron and no good. So Duke has their final timeout here. If he makes it, does John Shire call it and think about fouling up 3? And they've added a couple attempts here, 11.2. Evans now makes the second one. So Duke is up 3. They did not call a timeout here. Darling now can bring it across. St. John's can tie it with a 3. Is Duke going to foul? Darling for 3, and the tie, short, and the ball is out of bounds, and it's going to Duke. It's a good look for Darling, but he's just a little bit too far, and the shot barely caught iron. 1.8 seconds remaining for St. John's here. And Duke is going to kill their final timeout. They can't get the ball in. So no timeouts remaining. 1 second left. Duke has the ball. If they are able to get it in and don't get fouled in the time, they just need to make one free throw to put this thing on ice. But Darling crosses over, gets a good look, and it's nearly an air ball. But it's a good look to tie the game for the Idaho State transfer. And it looks like St. John's is just going to come up a little bit short. The Red Storm fans that have made the trip down to Washington, D.C., starting to feel that they potentially might not be staying for much longer. I'd be shocked if Ngongba's on the floor for Duke. Sarr isn't a great free throw shooter either. Neither is Foster. The Boozers and Evans are going to want to get the ball for Duke. Maybe St. John's even tries fouling before the ball is even inbounded. But if Duke can inbound the ball and make one free throw, they're going to win this basketball game. They have added a few seconds left. 2.1 now on the clock. Foster will inbound. It's Sarr, Boozer, and Evans on the floor for the Blue Devils. Let's see if Duke at the very minimum, I think, will throw the ball far down the floor. Mitchell guarding the inbounder. Foster's looking deep. He throws it to Boozer, and they foul with just a little bit of time coming off the clock. 1.5 remaining now. And Cam Boozer, the National Player of the Year, the ACC Player of the Year, will have a chance to put this one on ice for Duke. It was a valiant effort for St. John's, but it looks like they're going to come up just a little bit short. Cam Boozer, the K in Duke, has been ripped off his jersey for the most part. That is going to be a collectible item if Duke goes on to win this tournament. 6-4-7 on the day for Cam Boozer. Just one of these two would do it for Duke. The first free throw is up, and it is good, and Duke are going to win this basketball game. The Duke Blue Devils are going to be headed to the Elite Eight. It has not been all sunshine and roses through this tournament for the Blue Devils. They trailed at the final media timeout to the 16-seed Siena. They trailed in the second half to TCU. They trailed by 10 in the second half to St. John's, but they have come back to win all of them. The heave by Hopkins is no good, and the season is over for St. John's, and Duke is moving on to the Elite Eight in Washington, D.C. St. John's finishes the year 30-7, and Duke improves to 35-2 with this victory in the Sweet 16. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please check out our reaction stream later today. Later tonight, rather, at roughly 11 p.m. Eastern. You're going to have to hang in there with us exactly when it happens. That'll depend on what happens in these games. But an excellent job here by Duke. They faced adversity again, and they got across the line. Duke's moving on to the Elite Eight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this one, and we'll see you next time.